It's digital game time!
So I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. In case you didn't hear that beautiful, magnanimous intro that I did earlier, you're
Magnanimous.
tuned into DGT Live coming at you like Cleopatra. I'm Leo. He's Francisco. He's Rick. What's up, guys? Once again,
Just hit the reset button on the past like 15 minutes. So you're all good. You're all
we're
good.
gonna be all good. We're like I was trying to say, but the fans at home couldn't hear us. The fans, yeah, listen to that.
That's billion.
The millions and millions of fans couldn't hear that. We're still ironing out some of the little glitches.
Glitches. Glitches get the stitches.
Get stitches all
Bang,
burn.
bang, glitches.
Oh snap! This is, of course, obviously your family-friendly show for games, movies, and pop
It is.
culture.
It
Yes,
is.
yes, sir.
We decided last minute. It is family friendly.
It is
a
still
family-friendly
family-friendly,
show.
yes.
Of course it is. Of course. There was never any doubt about that.
Nope.
No doubt. So today we're gonna be watching some videos that Pancho, you put a playlist together for us. We're gonna be discussing some gaming, moving, and games, movies, and pop culture topics. And so here we go with some of that good stuff. Got a playlist
Ooh.
ready for you.
Well, we can actually
I
see.
know you wish things were different.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Oh,
Last
I
of
know
Us
this.
2. The Last of Us 2, bro.
So tell me, Leo, what happened here? Because I've heard a bit of information regarding some supposed
I wish
leaks
things were different.
about the ending or what the game is about, and there was some people upset because it supposedly was an employee.
Lower the game audio, the video audio. It's a little bit too loud still.
Yeah,
think
you can
so?
just lower the value. Yeah, just mute it. It's fine. We don't need to.
Even if it's just like at
Okay.
15-20%, that should be fine.
Yeah, okay. Just did so. We should be good now.
Yeah, that's better.
What was I saying?
What was Pancho saying actually?
Yeah, like so basically people got upset, right? Because there was a supposed employee that made some leaks.
Yeah, I guess for years now, the story's been that Naughty Dog has been notorious for not exactly treating their employees the best. And I mean, even in the game industry, it's well known that crunch time is terrible for everybody. But even amongst everybody in that industry, in the gaming industry, game development industry, Naughty Dog is notorious for being extra bad, I guess you could say. And so one of the employees, I guess,
I hope you make it.
said that this is too much, and they had enough, and they were disgruntled. They decided to leak the major story points and some gameplay from his archives, I guess, that he might have. And so now it's probably gonna cost Sony and Naughty Dog maybe millions of dollars, because absolutely everybody is hating
We could have
what
killed you.
they know about the game right now.
Maybe you should have.
So you don't feel in any way whatsoever that what was leaked wasn't accidental. It was purposely leaked. It wasn't just to throw some stuff out there, just to kind of wet the whistle, sort of saying, this is legit, the story. This is what everybody's hating because this is what would have came out at the time of launch.
Yeah, I absolutely think it's a legit leak. According to a lot of the stuff that I've seen posted about or Naughty Dog, I should say, like, yeah, it's been years that a lot of people have been complaining about the work environment. And I guess somebody finally snapped, and when you're under so much pressure, most of the time, most people, they understand what's at stake. They understand what they kind of signed up for. But eventually, we're all human. Out of all those thousands of employees that they've had, they got like a 70% turnover rate on their employees, which is really bad. And one of those thousands of employees was bound to, lose it and do something like this. And it finally happened. Is it something he should have done? No. But is it something I think most people will understand why he did it? I think so. And I think in the long run, this is something that's bad and shouldn't have happened. But in the long run, I think it's something that Naughty Dog, as well as Sony, and maybe even some other game developers will look at and think, we need to start treating our employees a little bit better.
Yes and no, because I mean, I understand that nobody should be abused or mistreated for the efforts that they do for any given company, no matter how small or how big. But this person that leaked these files was not considering everybody else.
Yeah.
The ones that put in all that hard work, all that effort, all that time, not just that person, everybody else. So now, maybe you mentioned it, maybe I misunderstood, but are they indefinitely pushing this back until they can recover from the backlash, or are they just saying it's not going to be released anytime soon? Or...
Actually, initially the game was supposed to already have been released as of the time that we're recording this, but
Right.
but then because of the whole pandemic and everything, Sony decided that they were going to postpone it indefinitely, and
Which, come on, wouldn't it have been the best time to release this game right now? Come on.
everybody agrees it would have been great. Like but the speculation is that Sony, I guess, must have crunched some numbers or whatever the case may be, and they decided that they wanted people to have access to the physical copies because it was going to be more of like
Downloads.
pop culture type of franchise thing where the parents would buy it as a gift for their kids eventually, and they wanted to have as much access to as much people as possible. So basically, part of the reason why fans are furious about this is, I mean, besides the whole story on it, which is a whole other thing, but the game was done. They could have released it earlier, but Sony got a little greedy, or Naughty Dog, whoever makes the decisions, they got a little greedy, and they decided to postpone it in order to have the ability to send this out to as many people as possible. And I mean, I don't think that's cool. They should have just released it because everybody's just waiting for this game. That's, in a nutshell, it's already completed. And
yes and no.
Go ahead,
Also, which I think we have, if I remember correctly, we have another item on the playlist that has a very similar outcome or a very similar issue going on. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But no, I mean, I get it. They obviously want to maximize their profits. They actually want to do what they can do to make their company, obviously keep going and raking in the cash. I just always took it as the current situation that we're in. This game isn't that, but it has a lot of that element to it. Yeah. So I could see how they wanted to avoid some, PR kind of scandals, like, they didn't want to kind of release this at a time where it was, it's too soon kind of deal. I always took it as that. But I mean, regardless, I mean, this has been what, 6, 7, 8 years in the works. It's been a long time, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
just about.
It's PlayStation 3.
Exactly. So the amount of time and money spent, not only by, like I said, the actual corporation, but the people invested time, and then this guy to release it and to basically kind of throw all of that work into the trash can for them. It's like, man.
Well, as I understand, this wasn't just one of the regular employees. It was there's heavy speculation that it was a contractor. So you know how sometimes you have big building projects and you have your regular employees and then you have a specialist that's called in to work on, I don't know, electrical, for example. Well, this guy was somebody outside of the company that got contracted in to work on whatever.
Even worse.
And they must have treated him really badly, and he decided that that's something he was going to do. For the greater good, perhaps. I don't know. That remains to be seen, but was it unprofessional? Heck yeah, it was not professional at all. But who knows? Maybe this could spark a good thing. You can't make any positive changes unless you ruffle a few feathers sometimes.
Do you think they'll make any changes, though? I mean, how you're saying that it's practically done. I don't think there's time to make any changes.
Sony, they pushed Sony's hand into releasing the game before they wanted to. Now it has a June release, which they set the release date just days after this whole leak happened. and I think it was to appease the fans. But I think that it's just gonna depend on what the monetary impact is gonna be with the game. I think that if it sells gangbusters, then I don't think Naughty Dog's gonna change very much with the way they're handling business. I mean, will have no incentive to change anything really if they still keep making those games and making money hand over fist. However, if it does impact them in that fashion, then I think they're definitely gonna make a change.
Jeez.
It's gonna get a Sonic the Hedgehog update.
Hey, that would be great, wouldn't it?
I know, seriously, huh?
By
That'd
the
be
way,
cool.
great movie. I love that movie. I think it's the best video game movie ever. But
It's an okay movie.
but
It's very good.
It's definitely a movie for kids, though. It's
Yeah.
like in the Angry Birds category.
Wreck-It Ralph was better.
Well,
It's not even really a video game, but it's about
I
video
mean,
games.
it's about video games. If you're talking about video
Sonic
games,
comes out in Wreck-It Ralph.
He does?
yeah. It's just
Oh,
anything
man.
Sonic's in, it's gold, bro.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah. All right, let's check out our next video, man. Let's see what else Francisco put on here for us.
Let's do this.
Ah, look at that. Memories. Childhood.
Memories.
Well, we were more like teenagers, but still. So yeah, dude. Have you heard about the Nintendo hacks?
Yes, I did. Actually, I think I mentioned them to you when they
Yep.
first broke out, right? Like a couple of
Oh,
weeks
yeah.
ago.
So basically,
explain-
somebody ported a version of Mario 64 completely for the PC. What that means is that they compiled the code stolen from Nintendo and actually made like a one-to-one copy of the game to be able to be run in a computer. Not an emulator, but an exe executable file. So
Yeah.
basically, you double click it and your computer will run it as if it was native software. And it's perfect. It's everything I don't know if you've ever played Mario 64 on an emulator, you can always tell that there's something off. It could be, little tiny pieces of the gameplay, maybe the camera, the controls, something's always a little off. And then you play it on the Nintendo 64, with the controller and everything, and it feels like it's perfect, right? So that's how they describe it when you play it on the PC port, basically as if it was Nintendo 64,
Yeah.
entirely. And so why is this significant? Basically, as we were mentioning, emulation. Emulation is a big part of our everyday lives, when it comes to gaming and whatnot. If you find yourself with that legal copy, we have to say it's a legal copy of a game you already own, and you want to play it on your computer, you always go and resource to emulation.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows you to make your computer pretty much think, or emulate basically that it's one of the consoles that you want to play that game on. Well, the community is very startled by this because Nintendo, as you know, protects their copyrights and they will go after anybody trying to infringe, that copyright. And they're not happy. Nintendo's not happy right now because in addition to the Mario 64 code, they actually got a whole bunch of Wii codes and Nintendo, Super Nintendo, pretty much every console that Nintendo has put out there, they were able to replicate the code. And what that does is that the emulation community now has to watch their backs because, as I learned recently, anybody can be tricked into looking at the source code, and just by the mere fact that you looked at that code, you're now guilty by association. So now you're implicated, and they can come and sue you just because you looked at the code, because there's no guarantee that you're not going to do the same and replicate that code in other ways, and Nintendo will come after you. So if you ever get a zip file that says Nintendo code, don't even look at it, just delete it right away. Because it's very intense, and it's wow. I
can just imagine older people, little kids, hey, what's this file? I don't know. Just delete. After they looked at it, nah, you're getting sued now.
You get it followed up straight up by a lawsuit on a little 6-year-old boy.
And because of that, a lot of the big emulation names out there, the Project Dolphin comes to mind. They put up a disclaimer pretty much saying, we're not going to touch this code. We don't care about this code. Do not send it to us. We're going to keep working on our thing, and we're going to reverse engineer the code that we already know how, instead
Ooh.
of just blatantly copying
Yeah.
Nintendo, which is what you're not supposed to do. It's kind of like when you make a fan art.
Right.
Let's talk about Disney. So if you make something, with Mickey Mouse on it, and you try to sell it, Disney will come after you because that's their property. Even though you made it, it doesn't matter. But if you make it and say like, look, I did this inspired by Disney, and that's just for you, and you don't get any gains from that, Disney's okay with it because
Oh.
they're seeing it as flattery, not
Right.
infringing their
Essentially, the
copyright.
main factor is making profit off of it. If
Correct.
you are, you're liable for, repercussion
Yes.
of some sort.
Yeah.
But imagine, if you will, somebody gives you the secret formula to Coca-Cola. What happens there? Will they come after you? Or will they be like, oh, just don't say, don't give it to anybody. Just keep it to yourself. So
But it's
there's,
same thing. It falls under those lines. I mean, if you have it and you make Coke in your basement and you're drinking Coke and you're not selling it, then
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm of
always
that- I'm of that
DGT
train
Coke.
of thought. I'm of that train of thought too. Like, hey, as long as you're not selling it, I think like you have the right to do whatever you want in your own personal space, right? As long as it's
Right.
not affecting anybody else in a negative way. But
the problem with
there's a whole conversation to be had about this, because there's things that have to be said about the validity of making emulation happen versus them having their rights to their copyrights. Does that
Correct.
make sense? Because
Yep.
if we let it go without having anybody doing that, then this thing could go the whole way of the film industry. The first 50 years of the film industry lost almost. I don't know the exact number, but they lost a big percentage of the original films that were made. Why? Because nobody copied them, because they weren't allowed to copy, or for whatever reason, but nobody did. So, and that's a piece of history. Imagine all these different films that were made and they were all lost. Some major films were lost of the first 50 years of the history of cinema. Now, imagine that happening to video games, starting with Pong, going all from Pong. What was that? 1975?
Ish.
More or less. So if you start more or less until 1975, you add a 50 years to that. What are we looking at? 75, 85, 95, 2005, 2015, 2025. So imagine all the video games that we've had up until now and for the next 5 years, and only being able to keep maybe 30% of those for history's sake. Because companies, and we know it happens, it's been confirmed, a lot of companies just take their old hard drives where they have all their code or whatever that for making video games, and they just toss them out. They don't need them anymore. It costs money to be able to store them away somewhere safe. So they just toss everything out, and those the original source code for a lot of these games is lost. So then that's when the emulation community comes into play, and they serve as almost like a preservation society, to preserve these valuable games. Sure, they might not be pixel to pixel perfect. They might be a little janky in some aspects, but they're preserving these games. And I think that's even more important than Nintendo being able to keep some of their copyrights. You know what I mean? Or some of these other games keeping their copyrights. But at the same time, I understand they are entitled to copyright their creations and to protect their creations, to keep them from being overused or misused.
The
more
I think the
complicated
big
conversation.
problem the big problem is that it's not so much that people will be making copies, emulation ROMs out of their product, but as you know, Nintendo's still selling these games. In the case of Nintendo or Mario 64, you've seen them on the Wii, you've seen them on the DS. Now, more recently, I guess it will be out in the Switch. People are still, or Nintendo are still making money off of these old games, and if the code is out there for somebody to like make a perfect copy, you can play on your computer, which is very widely available to every household in America. You can say in the world has a computer, so they will be
Yeah.
able to play this game without having to buy the console. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons why Nintendo is so mad, and with reason.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they do have the right to protect their creation, but
Yeah,
I also
we'll see
think,
how it ends. I just hope that emulation doesn't end because, as you said, it's a way to have those old games that maybe at one point you had the chance to play. And as we mentioned in the beginning, maybe they're not a perfect copy, maybe they're a little wonky, but
yeah.
it's history.
But isn't there some sort of a fair use law in play also, where
Yes.
after a certain number of years, whatever property, not the franchise, but the actual like property, like the game. I don't know what the correct terminology is, but the actual piece of work is fair game for the greater good.
I think proprietary is always going to be proprietary no matter what, unless they have some kind of contract like a game is going to be with a certain company for X amount of time and then released to other platforms. But it has nothing to do with the creation of the game. It's just the availability of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I would have to do more research on that, but I thought I heard somebody say something or mention something about that somewhere, where they're talking about the technology aspect after a certain number of years has to be shared and considered fair use.
This guy's not a really good player now, is he?
I was about to say, I'm getting frustrated at watching this screen at this guy just like stumble and fell all over the place.
And I think that's our cue to change it up. What's this next video about, Francisco?
That's an
Egg.
ad.
That's an ad.
The incredible edible
I
egg.
took off that ad. We're not gonna watch that ad.
Keep
We're gonna
ad.
wait. We're
Like,
gonna
you
wait for it to be done, and then boom, we're back. We're watching Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, continuing with the Nintendo talk here. Animal Crossing New Horizons, new hottest game available out there for all y'all who are in quarantine at the moment, like us. I have to be honest, dudes. I don't get this game.
I love it when Francisco's honest. Give it to
I
us.
mean,
Give it
I
to us.
tried giving it a chance. I watch video reviews. I watch a lot of YouTubers that I actually like and talking about the game and actually falling in love with the game after criticizing it much the same way that I am doing right now. But I just don't get it. Imagine, if you will, The Sims, but on a more cutesy kitty style.
What? I don't know. How many different iterations of this game is this
I have
now?
no idea. This
It's
is
been
the
ongoing
newest
since the
one.
early DS days, hasn't it?
I don't know.
So
I know
this-
there was out for the Wii. I know the
So
Wii
this has to
had a
be at
version.
least like the third
Okay,
version
probably.
of it, right? At
Yeah,
the very least.
I've seen the characters in Smash Brothers. That's how I know most of those characters. They come out there. But I actually bought it for my wife as a birthday present, and she loves it. She plays it all day.
Oh,
And
really?
then
All day?
she will give me the thing where it's like, oh, battery is dead, and she gets all sad and puts it away to charge, and then she'll go do something else.
But I
come
guess I
back like
gotta
a few hours later.
do life now.
I know, yeah, pretty much. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. I really don't know.
What's
I don't know what the appeal is.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you guys watching us at home love Animal Crossing, please drop a comment. Let us know what the big appeal is to you, because I certainly can't see it. To me, it looks like a little kid's game, but I mean, it's obviously more than that.
Before I say anything else about this, just want to quick mention right here in chat. Bishop is saying that he still doesn't have a Nintendo Switch, but he's still planning on getting one soon. Yeah, good luck
Nah,
on that. Good luck on
it's
that.
kind of hard right now because they're sold out everywhere.
Good
Yeah.
luck on that.
I've been on online every single day trying to get a Nintendo Switch, not for myself, but as a gift for somebody. And yeah, you
for
can
myself.
find the mini, or what's it called? Yeah, the mini,
Yeah,
right? The light, Nintendo Switch
light,
Lite.
light. Mhm.
Those are pretty abundant. You can find those here and there, but the big one, you can't find it. I'm just kind
The
of like,
big
what's
one.
going on?
The big
The-
one.
Big one,
it's like
Nintendo Switch.
slightly larger. But yeah. Now,
Okay,
getting
guys, before we
getting back on-
continue, I have to say, Animal Crossing has been on Nintendo 64, GameCube,
Ah.
Wii U, Nintendo DS, Nintendo
Dang.
3DS, iOS, Android, and Nintendo Switch, and something called the IK player, something like that. I don't know how it's
Never
pronounced,
heard of
but
that.
that's
Well, I mean,
crazy.
what I meant was, I mean, that's different platforms right there, but I don't believe each one is like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. I think they're just their own little game on every platform that it releases. So this has to at least be okay. Let's say the fourth
There's
or the
been
fifth.
nine releases.
See,
Dang.
so I don't know. I'm not gonna knock this game. It's not my cup of tea, as Pancho likes to say.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna knock it though, because I mean I'm into RPG type games. I wasn't crazy about The Sims. I wasn't crazy about those kind of simulator type games. So I can see the appeal, but it just doesn't call my attention to want to play this, especially spend hours. Because I've heard that there's I guess it's like a creation mode where you build your village or town or
Right.
whatever,
That's what
and
it is. Yes.
and it's costly. Like it costs a lot of money, and I've heard that people are like grinding day in and day out
Yes.
to basically buy all that stuff. It's like, I don't know.
That's the whole purpose, is building your island. Basically, customizing it to however you want it. And then from what I've seen my wife play, every once in a while there'll be a castaway, which will ask you to do certain quests for that particular NPC, and just pretty much help them out to get settled in the island. Um, and you get stuff by shaking the trees. Like you get this
Yeah.
icon things, whatever, that you can exchange for stuff, basically. But I don't know. To me, there's no purpose. There's no real goal. So, not my cup of tea.
I knew it was coming.
Moving along.
Moving
is it?
along, indeed. Epic Games this week released their new Unreal Engine 5 demo, and it's actually supposed to be a
It's unreal.
it's totally unreal, bro. Yeah, it's supposed to be a
Now this is proprietary, right? Unreal Engine is Epic Games.
no,
No?
or is it? I don't even know anymore. I know that John Carmack used to run Unreal or help develop it, or maybe he's still with
I don't know.
them.
Maybe I'm
But,
off.
Unreal is a software that game developers use to make video games, and it's
Yeah, developed by Epic Games.
Yep.
Good job, Rick.
Yeah, good job, Leo. Good job. Yeah, so I mean, this is actually kind of what I find interesting about it, is that Epic Games is basically giving Steam a run for its money. It's getting up there with the value of games available on that particular platform. Now, to top that off, the icing on the cake is now they own this software to make this style of video games, which obviously Steam uses. So it's kind of like saying, like, Epic Games is kind of like, yeah, you got all these games, but are you making them? Like, I don't know, but it was just kind of weird. But anyways, going back to the PS5.
Yeah,
This is
pretty much this is a tech demo to show off the Unreal Engine 5. And they talk about the luminescence, the polygon counts. It's very impressive. They're showing off, like, look at this screen right here. Just showing off how light bounces off of objects and bounces all over the place here in this cave demo.
Looks really cool.
And it looks photorealistic as far as the environment goes. And also they talk about how the sound echoes from the walls here where she's jumping at, and all kinds of crazy stuff that they're able to do with this new
The
technology.
lighting. I mean, look at
And
that.
yeah, and one of the biggest things to take away from this also is to understand that obviously Unreal Engine is open to anybody that wants to go ahead and use their engine, license the engine to make their video games, regardless of what platform they're on. But this demo is running on PlayStation 5 right now.
Oh,
So
So that's why they were debuting this, because they were basically saying this is what PS5 is capable of.
you know what? I'll be honest with you. I think Sony does have a lot to do with this being released right now. But
whoa, dude! Now I'm impressed.
but this demo, it's not meant to be a PS5 showcase. It's meant to be a Unreal Engine 5 showcase. However, they did say it's running on a PlayStation 5, and
Oh,
so far, PlayStation 5 has had nothing but bad juju going for it, because Xbox pretty much has been just hitting home runs with their announcements of what they've been showing so far. And I mean, honestly, Sony hasn't really showed off much besides the controller for the PlayStation 5.
okay.
But
I
they
want to
did
say
explain.
something
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
though. The whole thing with the console wars and all this, people being fanboys of a certain console and all that, that is just dumb to me. And I'll tell you why.
Yes.
Consoles nowadays, dude, they're basically computers. They're PCs on different shelves. That's all there are. So it's dumb to just, oh, Sony does this better because of blah, blah, blah. Xbox does this better because blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing. It's
I
just
agree.
that, there's tweaks.
I
It's just like
completely agree. Yeah.
it's like a pre-made PC with specific hardware that cannot be really changed or modified. I don't know, this whole console wars thing, to me, it's like, as soon as I got into PC gaming, it was kind of like, yeah, I see it as it's pointless. PC will always reign supreme for the fact that you can interchange parts whenever and however you want.
Yeah.
Basically, it.
I think that the console wars are kind of silly, but at the same time, I understand them. Do you want to know why? Because the reason is because of console exclusives. I think that's what makes
Yeah.
the console wars still be wars. It's just all about the exclusives.
Yep.
It's
But
not
that's-
even about the power of a game console anymore. Because I mean, look at Nintendo Switch. It's pretty much like a PlayStation 3, but portable, right? And no way that it can compete with something that's, say, on PC. As
And
far
they don't
as
want to.
as
They
far as
don't care
graphics
to
go,
do it.
right? And they don't want to. Why should
Yeah.
they? Because they're still making tons of money
Yeah.
making games for Nintendo Switch, and
Yeah, their games are always going to be where they make their money. But that's
Exactly.
also kind of like one of those points. It's like they're just the ones spending that extra cash to have that brand, that label come over to them, and not everybody else. When sometimes later on down the line, Final Fantasy VII Remake, PS4 exclusive, right? It's going to be a year before it comes onto PC. I don't know about Xbox, but I'm assuming since PC is Windows, Xbox is Windows. So
Yeah.
either way, we got a year before we can get it off of the PS4. Will it look better?
Well,
Maybe
you
slightly.
picked Final
Now
Fantasy
you were
7,
talking about
but
the cost.
yeah,
How much do you think a PS5 is gonna be day one?
right now there's rumors saying that they're expecting them to sell the console at a loss, but at the same time that the price is not set in stone because they're waiting for Microsoft to release their price point. And Microsoft is also waiting for Sony to release their price point because they want to undercut their competition.
Right.
Remember when the PS4 was announced? Microsoft earlier that day or the day before announced that Xbox One is going to be releasing with Kinect for $599 US.
I remember the PlayStation 3 being $600.
Yeah.
And I was like, heck to the nah.
Yup.
I don't care how good it is. I don't care that it plays Blu-rays. That's a no
Yep.
for me on day
So
one.
in that instance, Sony got arrogant, right?
Mhm.
And that's why they almost lost that console race. They actually lost a big part of the market share in the United States, which is huge. and they decided that they weren't going to do that anymore. They were going to make a console with the PlayStation 4 that was very competitive as far as its price point
Actually
goes.
worth it.
Yeah, so now what they're saying with this is that they're gonna go ahead and make it competitive as well. But I mean, they're saying that as far as what they should charge, should probably be around $500, right? But will they charge that? It just depends on how much Xbox is gonna be. The fourth generation. What are we on? Fourth generation Xbox now?
I think it's fifth, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's they go in hand with the PS.
No, you know what?
Xbox is one
the
behind, no?
the OG Xbox released when
Right.
PS2 released around that time frame. So they're one behind as far as numbers go, one behind Sony. So yeah, it's a fourth generation Xbox, and which they call the Xbox Series X.
Man, terabytes of hard drive.
But I mean,
It just reminds me of like a Price is Right episode where they'll say like $500, Bob, and then it's like
yeah, and
Come on
undercut it by
down.
$1. Yeah.
$1.
Well, another big point in this console war that's building some steam right now. They talk about how the Xbox Series X is so much more powerful than the PlayStation 5. However, the PlayStation 5 has technology that not even PCs have. Have you guys heard about this?
No,
Hold on, dude. You're cutting in and out like, pretty bad right now. I don't know if you guys are having any issues or it's just my side.
I think it's just you.
Yeah, I think
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah,
Now I
'cause-
can hear you just fine.
Yeah, I think your connection's a little wonky right now, but
Rick needs
It's
new
okay.
internet.
But no, have you guys heard about the tech behind the PS5 so far? Yeah,
No.
it just blows my mind. This
I've just stayed away from the whole thing.
Oh,
I want to be
man.
surprised.
Oh yeah. Oh well, you're in for a treat, buddy, because
Yeah.
they're talking about how the PlayStation 5 is not as powerful as the Xbox Series X as far as specs go. However, Mark Cerny, which is the head he's in charge of development of the PlayStation 5 right now for Sony. He went ahead and along with his engineers, they created this storage drive that's leaps and bounds faster than the SSDs that computers have. What are you doing, Francisco?
I don't know, dude. My headphones started blinking
Are
rapidly.
you having
but I don't-
problems? Do you need to
I don't-
recharge?
I don't know if it's a battery, dude. I think I'm gonna blow up soon
Oh,
here.
man, you're making me worry, man. You're
Look
making me
at that.
worry.
We'll see what happens. Let's
Oh,
live
man.
dangerously.
We see Pancho without a head in a few seconds.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Upload.
But
Let's,
I just want to say like so they were talking about that, and obviously, you know, people were just kind of like boring stuff, you know, like hard drive, smart drive, you know. Like they didn't really care too much about it. But when they saw this Unreal Engine, and when they talked to some of the devs behind the scenes, they were talking about how despite the PlayStation 5 in specs not being as powerful as some PCs, and because they were not just comparing it to Xbox Series X, they were comparing it to the PCs. They were talking about how the speed of the hard drive alone, there's almost no need to use up as much CPU or to use up as much of the RAM on the system, because it's almost like an instant, like it's there. You know, remember the old disc versus cartridge argument back in the
Yeah.
Nintendo 64 days versus PlayStation?
Same thing.
Well, it's sort of going back to that, because now you don't have to wait for the console to load the game from the slow hard drive. It's almost instant now
It's
because
already
of the
there,
speed
yeah.
of their hard drives that Sony developed. And apparently PCs don't have anything that compares to these hard drives that the PlayStations are going to have. So PC is actually going to be playing catch up to Sony for the next few years until they can bring these extremely fast hard drives out to the PC market. So to me, that's just amazing. I'm probably gonna have to hold on building a new PC rig until some of this tech starts coming out in
So
the PC
basically,
medium.
Sony is doing what Sony does: beta, CDs, Blu-rays, and now hard drives.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, bro.
Yep.
Isn't that amazing? To me, that's
Yep.
like the biggest thing about this. Imagine just like they're not worried about building better chips. They're worried about just making faster memory that's
Yeah.
reliable. And if they can pull it
Insane.
off, man, ooh, the gaming history looks so good, so good.
Leo's already going like,
I can feel that emanating from him.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. The future of gaming looks so delicious right now.
all right, cool. I'll give you that.
All right, let's keep this party going. What's going on with trolls, Francisco?
Ah, dude.
Oh no, this
that's
is an ad.
ad.
Hold on, not yet. Take off the ad
Man,
again. There's
so-
trolls. There it is.
Okay. So this is really cool. I actually was part of this because of my little girl. So as you know, Universal was set to release Trolls World Tour in theaters, and it was going to be the sequel to their very successful Trolls franchise from a couple years ago. Well, the pandemic hit us, and so movie theaters closed, and there was no more Trolls. But Universal, the same way as Disney when they released Onward on digital,
Yeah.
followed suit and did the same with Trolls. However, there was a little bit of a difference. Since Disney gave us Onward, they let us buy it digitally and keep it. However, Trolls was not there for us to keep. They just released it as a rental. I believe either 2 or 3 days for $19.99. You were able to see the movie as many times as you wanted. But as soon as those 3 days were up, that's it. Can't see the movie anymore. Just a rental. Same idea as going to the theater.
Yeah.
They called it theater at home. And when you factor in that, like in your guys' case, you have 3 kids, you go to the movies and you're going to spend a lot of money
3
for
days is not gonna be
4 or 5
enough.
tickets. Exactly. So $19.99 is very affordable when the whole family can see it at home. So it's theater at home. So Universal made a bazillion amount of money. I think they made 1 billion in sales
In
for
just
the
that
download.
rental?
Yep, just for that rental. And that's because everybody's at home, so it's understandable. And since Universal was so happy about this, they're like, yeah, you know what? Maybe we're gonna keep exploring this in the future and do releases digitally.
That's funny.
Let's
The
cut
moment
down
you
the
said that,
middleman.
the moment you said that, this little troll guy like turned around like check this out. Hey, you know what?
Okay, so
It's like
so
perfect
yeah,
timing, bro.
they're like, we're going to explore this option and then maybe just release at home. Well, AMC Theaters was not happy about this and they retaliated and pretty much told Universal, you do that and we're never ever gonna play Universal movies in our theaters once this is
Ooh.
over. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Wasn't it more than just AMC? Wasn't AMC and some other ones?
Yeah, I think Regal followed
Yeah.
suit afterwards and said the same that yeah, we're with AMC and we're gonna pretty much do the same thing. But I don't know, guys. Okay, so in my case, I love going to the theater.
Yeah.
Going to the movies is something. It's an experience. It's cool. You take your family. You enjoy yourself. It's a good time. But there's also times like not talking about like what's happening right now. But if you're sick, if you have a cold, if you can't go out, but there's a movie that you really really want to see, wouldn't you like to have that option of just watch it at home? I mean, or you have a baby at home, you can go to the movies and you can wait till like 4 or 5 months until they release it on video on demand or whatever. You just click it and watch it at home. What's
You know
wrong with
what?
that?
I'm of the old school thought that like yeah, it would be great to have them release in theaters first. I understand that business model, but at the same time, it's like you really can't force these companies to like give you exclusivity on their product. You know what I'm saying? For
But it
example,
be
like
what I'm saying is that it'd be nice to have it both ways. You can watch it
yeah,
in the theater, you can watch it at home. That's
well
your choice.
that's the point I'm trying to make. Like how many times have we seen like straight to video? Remember that old term, straight to video?
Right.
Like, oh, this Disney straight to video. Like
Right. The
nobody
sequels.
ever
Yeah,
had
yeah, yeah.
problems with that. But
Right.
when it's one of these movies, all of a sudden AMC and them, they're all
It's
of a sudden they're
I mean,
threatening to
honestly,
never play their
it's
movies. What?
it's all it's all just a business thing. I mean, if you really like how you're saying, Leo, what's keeping them from saying, okay, forget theaters. We did so much better going straight to at home rather than going through the whole theater outlet. Let's skip all that. Let's make all that money.
Yeah.
That money is not only just the movie itself, but the theater, obviously, the concession stands, the sale of the popcorns and the sodas and the candies and all that stuff involved. So yeah, they're losing a ton of money. I get that, but yeah, at the same time, it's like, so I'm sorry, it's a business thing. They're gonna do what they feel is best for their company. How does that mean, like, oh, I have to give it to the theater, I have to let them debut my movie, they have to make profit off of my work and sell their product in the same time, get some more money on the side, and blah 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 blah. I get that, but this is kind of going back to to the Last of Us things that we were talking about. They have the finished product. What do? Should they continue and release it during the time straight digital without the physical copies, without the release that they were expecting, with people waiting in line, midnight release or whatever? Cut all that out and go straight to digital where everybody can just download it, or possibly make more money and sell it with hard copies, promote it, advertise it, have people waiting in line and doing all that like most games, most big games do.
Yeah.
It's just a business.
What they're trying to
I
do
have
is
a
they're trying to
thought.
cut out the middleman. That's all it is. But
I have a thought,
hmm.
and this will be and you guys are my witnesses that if something like this ever happens, I need some royalties out of that. Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool if you go to the movies, you're gonna watch a movie that you really, really want to see, and just like they do with videos now, they give you a digital download. So you pay your ticket, you go into the theater, and at the end, you have your digital download so that you can own the movie after you already watch it in the theater.
I would love that, but I can also see a lot of people just giving out their download to friends and family so that they don't have to go to the movie theater. So they're kind of like losing money there. But if
I
it's
don't know.
but
You make it exclusive to your personal download, non-transferable.
I was just gonna say
You
that,
can do this, Rick.
like if you,
Non-transferable.
I was just
You
gonna
make
say
the
that
technology
if
and you make it happen.
like every time you buy a movie theater ticket,
Right,
it's
exactly.
tied to your account somehow.
Yep.
Like you
Your
don't even need to
Visa
have,
or however you pay for your ticket.
you don't even need
There
a
you go.
code. You just go ahead. It's like buying music on, like buying a CD on Amazon. Like, have you guys bought
Exactly.
CDs on Amazon lately?
Yep.
If you order a physical disc on Amazon, a music CD,
You get the MP3s.
you get the digital one automatically through the Amazon Music. Same thing with
Voodoo.
Vudu and Walmart. If
Yep.
you buy a Blu-ray or a DVD or whatever in Walmart, and you automatically get the digital copy on Vudu, which was their streaming service. They're now owned by what's that theater service?
Fandango.
They're now owned by Fandango, but they used to be owned by Walmart. And anytime you bought a Blu-ray at Walmart, you would automatically get that for Vudu. So I mean,
but what's stopping anybody from sharing that Amazon account with somebody else, that Voodoo account with somebody else?
Ethics, Rick. Ethics. That's what's preventing them from doing that.
We live in a society where ethics don't really play a key factor here. Yes, I'm not saying we should do that. That would be obviously ideal, but that's not how it works. I don't know. I mean, I would assume at some point there is a way to, I don't know, have some kind of, meeting ground of where they can kind of manage this. they can do the theater option for those that want to go see it in the theater because, like you said, the experience. Some people want to be in that big room, nice and dark, with the sound, get their snacks and all that stuff. Yeah, I get that. Others don't care for that. Others probably even have a home theater set up already at their house and don't really care about going out, right? But I mean, who knows? I mean, there could be some kind of other medium of actually doing this where the movie is released through specific websites, owned by AMC, Regal, or whatever. Show times are at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., blah, 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 specifically to like a theater rollout of the movie kind of thing. I mean, there's always to do it, but just, I mean, what's going to work? I don't know. It's
Yeah.
still
I
up
don't know.
there.
I just thought it was really crazy that, AMC got so defensive all of a sudden and boom. It's like, you know what? Come at us, bro. You want to cut us out? We'll cut you out first.
That was kind of like a little kid
Yeah,
retaliation. It was like, oh, you don't want to play with me? Fine, I don't want to play with you.
Yep. We'll see what happens. I'm sure they'll come up with that system that will allow for theaters to still get the movie while maybe doing something on demand. Who knows?
But
When it comes to money, they always figure it out.
Oh yeah.
Like,
of course,
yeah,
they're gonna want that
money-
piece of the pie.
money
But
makes
wait,
things happen in
wasn't
Hollywood. That's for sure.
wasn't an agreement already made, or didn't they work something out? Like, didn't they say like, okay, we're not gonna go ahead and go through with banning them
Something
from the theater?
happened behind closed doors that we don't really know, but yeah, I think they're cool now.
They cool.
They
Yeah.
cool. They
Back,
cool.
they're back to being bros again.
Yeah.
Dude, Leo, have you gotten into this yet?
Is this an ad? Am I looking at
No,
an ad?
No,
This
this
is
is
Upload.
this is an Amazon a Prime Video. There you go, Prime Video
It's a Prime
exclusive.
Video. Okay, what am I looking
Amazon
at?
Prime, yeah. So this show,
This dude looks like
I
the
don't
guy
even
from
know how I
Arrow,
found
kind of.
this show.
He's the brother. He's the younger brother of
Arrow.
Amel. What's his name? Steve.
Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell.
Okay.
Yeah, this is I don't know, I can't remember his name, but this show, dude,
Robbie, I think.
Robbie Amell. This show, Leo, is
What
kind
up,
of like
kid?
what the Matrix was supposed to be, but
Was
with
supposed to
a funny.
Yeah, this is more of a
touch.
comedy kind of drama. Not so serious.
Comedy Matrix.
It was 8 episodes, 10 episodes.
Give or take. I'm still on episode 6, I believe.
Dude, that reminds me of like buying clothes in GTA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they use a lot of those elements. Basically, the premise of the show, that dude that you're looking at, and it's not
That's
really a spoiler
hilarious.
because it happens right at the beginning, he dies. And I
Robbie
think
Amell, yeah.
I talked to you guys about the singularity at one point during the show too.
Yeah.
There was talks that people wanted or were exploring how to upload your consciousness into a computer to preserve it, and then when the technology was available, bring you back into a body. So that's
I've heard of
basically the
that.
idea of
Yeah.
the show.
Wasn't it Kevin?
That's the singularity right there. So
Kevin
the guy
James,
dies.
Kevin Hart. What's that guy you listen to?
The guy you listen
It's
to,
Smith. It's
Joe
Smith.
Rogan.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's not Kevin James or Kevin Hart. It's Kevin Smith. He was talking
Kevin
about
Smith,
that,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so basically, yeah, he's still him. The consciousness is still there. It's just him, and like you will expect him to be while alive, but now he's dead, and he still interacts with, people that are alive through screens, through the internet, basically.
Yeah.
And he can talk to them, and they can talk back, and it's an amazing show that you need to watch. And I don't know why you're not.
Wait,
up
so
in
it's
it
already
yet.
out? It's already out?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. The
Oh,
whole
okay,
first season
okay.
is out
We
already.
told you. Break even finished it before me, and I told you guys at the same time.
Okay,
But-
Rick, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much should I watch it? 10
How much did you
10
watch?
10 being I
Hey,
absolutely
Ken's
have
here.
to watch
Hi,
it.
Ken.
What's up,
You should
Ken?
you should definitely
up?
watch this. You should definitely give this a watch. Did you ever watch The Good Place?
Nope.
Oh, that
okay,
one's a
never
good
mind.
one too.
It's similar to that. This has more. It's not as serious as The Good Place was. It's not as, I guess, detailed. I guess I don't know how to really explain it, but
Yeah.
this is a good show. This is definitely
Okay.
a good show. You should watch it. I love that they have the whole liking, the whole rating, the
Right.
whole
everything pop culture related to the internet, boom, it's in there in
Cool.
that
It's
show.
like you have to have credit to be able to do these things, or if
Mhm.
not, you're down with the 2 giggers.
Yeah,
Oh my
What?
like
god,
a phone, like
Oh.
That sounds like an
three
insult,
weekends
man.
or something like that.
two
Yeah,
gigabytes.
The
Yeah.
2
It's
giggers.
essentially all right. So essentially, like how he was saying, the guy dies and he's uploaded. Right, his conscience is essentially uploaded to quote heaven.
Yeah.
Heaven is what you
It's
can
a server.
afford it. It's what you can afford it to be. So the one that he gets uploaded to is like top of the line. Like it's the best place you want to be. It's like the gated community around not so great
Of
communities.
computers,
Yeah.
And
of the internet.
but even being in this place, there's different tiers, different packages. You've got unlimited, which basically gives you the
That's
best
him.
life,
Uh-huh.
or you get the 2Gs, the 2 gigs. That's your max.
A month.
That's your max data that
Oh
you're
man,
allowed.
that's crazy.
And
Now I
then
gotta
at the
watch
end,
it.
when you finish those those gigabytes, you get frozen.
Yeah, because
Oh.
you don't have no more data. So essentially, yeah, you have to wait till the next.
Okay, now I gotta watch
Oh,
this.
dude! Without you have to watch it. The free samples. Basically, they get books where only like the first page. That's it. That's all you can read, and the rest
Yeah.
is blank because
You have to pay for the rest.
Oh, dude, that's nuts.
No,
You
it's
guys
a
will be
funny
proud
show.
of me. I finally saw Umbrella Academy after like
Wow,
a year and a
dude,
half
like
after you
year-
guys
a
told
year
me
and a
about
half.
it.
2 years later.
No,
I remember we
one
were
thing-
still doing the show on a regular basis when you guys told me about it.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
hey,
And-
I finally got around to it.
Oh, speaking of that, I think I showed you guys some screenshots, but not really too much detail. So Netflix announced like 135 to 150 shows that they were canceling, something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't read it, but yeah.
So Watchmen was one of them. They
But
decided that
isn't
Wait,
Watchmen
but that's an HBO
though?
show.
Watchmen the series. So that's the thing that I didn't get. I don't know if they just meant that they were not going to take it in, or if they were going to be the ones continuing the series,
Oh, I
and then
see.
they decided
Ah.
to cancel it. But I mean, it said Netflix is canceling the show. So Watchmen was on that list. Arrow, which I think we kind of already knew was at its end.
Yeah.
What other ones that they matched? A Good Place. They also confirmed that one is done.
But
A whole bunch
the
of
Good
shows.
Place ended.
I think there was another. I think there's another series, another season that's supposed to come out,
Oh.
and from there it's kind of like that's it, done after that.
Hmm.
So it sucks, but yeah, this show is great. Upload is good. I wish something like Netflix actually picked them up because they would have had much more better of a budget to be able to do some of
Yeah.
the effects and stuff like that. But as it is, it was great. You should definitely watch it, Leo.
Yeah. I think I'll look it up and see if I can give it a go here pretty soon. All right. So guys, what are we watching next?
Basically, what we're doing historically, for the first time ever, SNL did their show at home. Basically, what we're doing right now, and surprisingly enough, they did. I believe 3 shows like this before their season finale,
Yeah.
and I was entertained. They did a really good job, basically, by doing what we're doing right now.
But okay, I didn't see it. Are they actually doing skits? Like, is that an actual skit?
Yeah, all at home. Each individual cast member will do a skit at their house.
Oh
But
wow.
like fully dressed doing the skit, or
Oh
just
no, not fully. Well, in some cases they will wear different customs, but yeah,
just whatever they had available
yeah,
at home?
yeah.
Oh dang.
And it was funny.
I
There were
was
some
gonna
skits that were
say like
good.
that sounds kind of lame, but because I
Ah,
saw
you gotta watch it. Go to YouTube, find the skits, and you'll be like, what the heck?
okay,
They actually did a
I'll
good
check
job.
it out. I saw the one that Parks and Rec did, and
Mhm.
I thought it was kind of a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah,
and,
because I mean they were just doing like video calls.
Who else
But-
did one? Yeah, there was just like a video call, which
Yeah,
is
no,
kind
but
of
these
like
guys are actually doing skits.
yeah. And then there was another one. Was it The Office? The guys from The Office that did one? I don't remember. Somebody else did something like that.
Parks and
also.
Rec, or who was it? The one?
Yeah,
You
Parks and
mentioned
Recs
it.
did one, but I think another one, someone else did one too, and
The
both of-
Goonies.
and they were just kind of like, like, it you could tell it's kind of a little bit of a stretch there, which I mean, it's good. They're trying to do it to build up morale. People
Yeah, for the
being at
most part, I
home,
think
and
that's just what it is. It's just
we're all in this
entertainment.
together. But
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, who knows, dude? Supposedly everything's kind of like being eased up little by little. I guess the governor today gave some news about new businesses being able to open, and we're gonna get there. I mean, we knew this wasn't gonna be forever, or at least they're trying not to keep it to be a forever thing, which I hope it's not. But there's definitely gonna be some changes. Who knows how this is gonna turn out, and I don't know. Do you think? What are your thoughts about this?
about just the way the rollout, the
Coming
pandemic
back to
rollout's
real
gonna
life,
go.
as it were.
I think I mean, I think I know a lot of. Here's my opinion on the whole thing. I think a lot of people are gonna believe what they want to believe regarding what we're being told and what the situation is, and a lot of people are gonna believe it just based out of I want to go out already. I'm sick and tired of being at home, and so they're gonna start leaning towards the things that are most convenient in their minds. But at the end of the day, I think that we should do what's safe. What's safer for everybody. Like, not just because I believe that I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna be fine, that means that that's the truth. I think that that the truth is that a lot of people out there are still getting sick, and COVID-19 for some people is a very critical disease or virus, and a lot of people's lives haven't already been claimed. And yes, it's from what I understand, it's on the decline, but we also got to be, we got to have the people's health and interest in mind as well, because I understand also there's a certain point where it's going to be affecting us financially as well. And a lot of people, if they don't have the money to be able to take care of themselves, they're going to start suffering from other things as well. And so,
Yeah,
that's a whole topic that I'm not too
qualified.
well versed or qualified on. But from what I understand, there's a certain poverty level where like the death starts to increase, and there has to be a certain balance overall. But I don't think, with our country being economically as strong as it has been for the last I don't know how many decades now, since the Great Depression, we've been one of the number ones worldwide. I don't think it's something that has affected us to that level to where we're
What
gonna
the
say,
unemployment is now higher than what it was at the Great Depression. So, gives some
from
perspective.
what I understand, some of those numbers are a little bit inflated depending on how you look at it, because percentage wise, there's not as many people today alive in the United States as there
Well,
was back then. So when they give you just the numbers, yes, of course, there's going to be a lot more people like that are unemployed, because there's a lot more people that are alive now. But if you look at percentages, I think the percentage is still lower. Actually, the unemployment rate's not that high compared to some of the other instances in our history. But I mean,
crazy.
I think we're a strong country, strong economy. Capitalism is not perfect by any means, but it's what we've been using, and I think it's gonna keep on going. And I think we'll recover from this. It's gonna take time, but we'll recover. I hope that this doesn't lead to bigger things in our future. Some of the things I worry about are, yes, the economy, probably number one. How are we going to recover from it as a nation? But I also worry about the next wave, because these types of viruses come in waves. We're probably going to look at two more waves after this, coming next flu season, when the viruses start hitting again. And then the season after that, usually they come in 3 seasons, waves of 3 seasons. So I'm worried that there's going to be some sort of mandatory vaccine that everybody has to take, and that there's something wrong with the vaccine. I don't know. Those are just little things that, again, I'm not too well versed in, and I don't want to create like any kind of panic amongst people. But it's just, something to kind of keep your ears to the streets to, just to make sure that you're well informed for when the time comes and that stuff starts trying to be pushed on us.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, so wait and see approach. Not be too hasty. Hang in there. To anybody that's watching us, I know it's nice to go out and be able to visit places and visit other people, but right now you have to, especially if you have family, you have to keep your family's well-being above everything else. And, stay at home, play video games, watch movies.
Be a responsible video gamer.
There you go.
Responsible video gamer, that's right. Boys, it's nice to be back, man. I hope we can keep doing this. Digital Game Time is back and better than
We'll be all
ever.
up to Rick on this one.
What?
It will be all up to Rick if we continue this trend.
Yeah, we don't want to point any fingers, but I think but I think you move out the way. Point at Rick. No, but I think I think it's something that we all wanted to do, to keep doing DGT, but it's just, for one reason or another, it's been kind of difficult for us to get to it. And I think this pandemic kind of helped us out a little bit to put it back on the air.
Nothing
because
else to do, bruh.
well, not just that, but we figured out other technologies where we don't have to be in the same
Where we can
place at the
actually
same
be
time.
at home.
Yeah, we can be at
Yeah,
home. We
you're
can
right.
dedicate 2 hours to getting this set up and streamed out to our lovely people out there. And I'm hoping that maybe one of you two can one day host a gameplay session in this format. So we'll see if it's possible. I tried it with my
Imagine-
laptop, but
yeah,
my laptop's just
yeah,
not strong
Snoop
enough.
GIF.
Imagine what?
The Snoop GIF. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure.
All right. Lead us out, Leo.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you have a safe time out there in these difficult times that we're living in. I'm Leo, along with
Rick.
and
Go.
you cut off again. Say it again. Say it again.
Francisco.
There you go.
I say it too quick. That's why.
I all I heard was Francisco.
All I heard was go.
Yeah, see. And I hope you guys you have a good time. Maybe we'll see each other next week at the same time. Until next time, enjoy your games. Love your families. Ciao.
Hello there. Digital Game Time, your show about games, movies, and pop culture is now live every week. Follow them and watch the show every Monday on Facebook Live at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Comment, participate, and interact with Leo, Rick, and Francisco as they tell you what's happening in the world of entertainment at facebook.com/digitalgametime. Also, be sure to follow them on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch at Digital Game Time, and check out their t-shirts with original designs inspired by pop culture at digitalgametime.com/merchandise. And remember, enjoy your entertainment and love your family. Hello there. Digital Game Time, your show about games, movies, and pop culture is now live every week. Follow them and watch the show every Monday on Facebook Live at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Comment, participate, and interact with Leo, Rick, and Francisco as they tell you what's happening in the world of entertainment at facebook.com/digitalgametime. Also, be sure to follow them on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch at Digital Game Time, and check out their t-shirts with original designs inspired by pop culture at digitalgametime.com/merchandise. And remember, enjoy your entertainment and love your family.